Is this the moment to reform gun laws?
You know, it's easy to go to politics.
But it's important. It's at the heart of the issue.
I get that that's where the media likes to go.
No, it's not. It's where many of the people we've talked to here like to go.
The proposals from Democrats in the media, inevitably, when some violent psychopath murders people.
A violent psychopath who's able to get a weapon so easily. 18-year-old with 2 AR-15s.
If you want to stop violent crime, the proposals the Democrats have, none of them would have stopped this.
But why does this only happen in your country?
Many people praised this British Sky News reporter for confronting Ted Cruz and asking hard follow-up questions reporters rarely do. And he did, but then he miscalculated by asking this.
I really think that's what many people around the world they cannot fathom. Why only in America? Why is this American exceptionalism so awful?
You know, I'm sorry you think American exceptionalism is awful.
I think this aspect of it.
You got your political agenda.
No, it's
God,
honestly,
God love you.
Senator, it's not. I just want to understand why you do not think that guns are the problem.
Why is American exceptionalism so awful is an awful question. He went from sharp, fact-based questions to a judgmental insult about our country, which he should have known would make Cruz act all offended and run away. And so he didn't even get to pin him on any specific point. Huge wasted opportunity. It made Cruz look like a jerk, sure, but that's not hard to do. And it didn't back him into a corner to advance the conversation. People need to get better at not only seeing through these fake BS Republican talking points, but at countering them and cornering them until they are forced to concede their argument or until it's clear to all they have no response. Reporters especially need to get way better at this, because if you let them wiggle out quickly, then it might feel good to watch, but you've really gotten nowhere. So in this video, I'm going to show everyone watching how to finally win the gun debate, and any debate really, with politicians, pundits, gun nuts, or your crazy old high school friends on Facebook. Look, I've debated some of the most controversial, fact-twisting Republicans there are. Charlie Kirk.
Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being? This?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt?
Yes.
This is a dolphin fetus.
So let me...
Without a doubt, a dolphin fetus is a human being.
And Tommy Lahren.
So if I have a gun and I personally own a gun and I want to give it to Aaron, my next door neighbor, you're telling me that I need to go and...
Yes, it's a deadly weapon. You need to not just hand it to your friend who's not trained or capable of using it or...
But the Second Amendment doesn't say that you need to be trained.
The Second Amendment is one sentence. We can still have common sense, intelligent policies beyond one sentence written 200 plus years ago. We can just evolve as humans and think, oh, we're getting murdered in the streets and at garlic festivals and music concerts and in our schools, and so we can just actually adapt some new laws to save children's lives.
And I crushed them. Here's how. For obvious reasons, we're going to use the gun debate. So Republicans on guns always just say, you can't take away our guns. So the first response to that should be, but what does that have to do with background checks? That doesn't take away people's guns. We already have background checks for most sales. There's just gaps still. Like private sales don't require them for some reason. Why? If we're going to have background checks at all, shouldn't they at least cover all sales? So why don't you at least agree to closing that gap? And then make them answer. Don't let them pivot or change topics. Make them answer that direct question. And if they say, what we need to do is focus on mental health, you need to say, immediately, but other countries have the same mental health issues. The only difference is the access to guns. And whatever they say in response, be ready to say, but even if you believe mental health is the problem, then why not do both? Lives are on the line, so why not do both? And make them answer. If they say, what we need to do is put cops or armed guards in school, say, but there was an armed guard at Parkland and it did nothing. And the cops in Uvalde just the other day didn't go into the school for an hour, and make them respond. And whatever they say, reply with, okay, so why not do both? If they say we need to arm teachers, tell them teachers are already underpaid and have incredibly stressful jobs, and most will not want to carry guns or even be good at handling them. So at the very least, that's not an across-the-board solution. But even if we do arm some teachers, why not do both? Get them somewhere in your argument. Tell them we don't need to only take one approach to saving kids' lives. We should do all we can to save their lives. And innocent Americans everywhere. Don't you agree? And make them answer that. And if they then say, well, yeah, of course I agree with that, then say to them, great. So do you promise to work across the aisle to come up with common sense gun reforms that can save lives, while also making sure your constituents don't lose their right to own one? And at that point, you either get them to say yes, and you've won, or they say no, and you have them on record saying they won't do everything it takes to save American lives, or even save American children's lives, and they'll be voted out of office. And then change can happen. And if they instead say, oh, because Democrats' plan for gun control doesn't work, tell them, how do we know unless we try? It's been decades since significant gun legislation passed. And when they say, oh, well, Chicago has some of the toughest gun laws and some of the highest rates of gun violence, tell them it's because people go to neighboring states which have very lax gun laws and get their guns there. And you should be more serious than to make an argument that you know, or should know at least, is not factually accurate. And then tell them that the last time we had a major piece of gun reform legislation, in effect, the assault weapons ban from 1994 to 2004, mass shootings dropped. And when it expired, mass shootings tripled. So how can you say it doesn't work when it does? Because that kind of makes it sound like you don't know what you're talking about. And that can't be true, right? In a debate, a little dose of making them afraid to appear stupid always helps too. When they say, the Second Amendment guarantees our right to bear arms and it cannot be infringed, tell them, well, the full text of the Second Amendment is just one sentence. Quote, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And you're conveniently ignoring the well-regulated militia part. And if they say, well, the founders didn't mean an actual militia, tell them, oh, so you're interpreting what the founders meant? Great. Then we get to do the same thing for the back half of the sentence and decide what arms we're allowed to keep. You have to disprove each and every one of these absurd, weak-ass arguments. And reporters need to prepare for these interviews and debates more cleverly and carefully. Plan for what their response will likely be, and then plan your response to it. Be armed with facts and counter-arguments in advance. Let's not keep losing this debate because we argue only with emotion and not with well-reasoned logic, or because we just wing it in the moment. The stakes are too high. If we want common-sense gun reform, we have to make it make sense to everyone's common sense, not just our own. And we have to be better at pinning them on each point. And that's all in the follow-up questions. Don't let them wiggle out by pivoting to another topic, and don't you yourself pivot to another topic until you won that one. Do not let them off the hook, even for a second. They have blood on their hands. Don't let them put any on yours. Politicians are great at sliming out of the hard questions and avoiding real answers. Don't let them. Win the argument. We have no time left to lose. I'm Ben Gleib. You can subscribe to my News and Politics podcast, Last Week on Earth, new season starting soon. Get a ticket to my worldwide virtual comedy show, Gleib Off the Top, at bengleib.com. It's this Saturday, and you can join from your phone or computer. And follow me at Ben Gleib on all social media, posting a new stand-up clip every weekday.